But we're turning now to archaeology, because this weekend County Clare will join communities across Europe in celebrating European Archaeology Days, a 3-day event highlighting the importance of archaeology and heritage through walks, talks, exhibitions and hands-on activities. It's going to be happening from tomorrow until the 14th. This year's programme has a particular focus on heritage at risk and encouraging young people to engage with the fascinating stories of our past. And to tell us more about what's planned in Clare, I'm joined in studio by the Clare Heritage Officer, Congella McGuire. And on the line, we have the Community Archaeologist with the Council, funded by the Heritage Council. That's Tori McMorran. So a very good morning to both of you. And Congella, for listeners who may not be familiar with this, and maybe this is their first time hearing about European Archaeology Days, tell us more about it and why is it important that Clare is participating in this?
It's a European-wide initiative and we're delighted to be taking part in it. Clare has such vast resource of archaeology. We have over 10,000 sites that we know of, archaeological monuments, and many yet to be discovered. We often only realise how much we have when we're doing excavations, and we might uncover 1/3 of what we were previously recorded. So we have from the early hunter-gatherer, we have huge cultural material and evidence of early people in County Clare, and the archaeologists have made many important discoveries through their excavations in caves and in the wider landscape, and we have archaeological landscapes in Clare. So we have, for every era of archaeology, we have very significant and iconic sites in Clare.
Okay, so plenty of, sites and more for archaeologists to get their teeth into. And Tori, as community archaeologist, what does your role involve on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, good morning. So I work with community groups who would be looking to use their archaeological resource to create community projects, maybe larger projects where they want to conserve or do some conservation work on monuments in their area, create educational resources, work with local schools, so things like that. I can really support them. Archaeology can be a little bit tricky. There are a lot of guidelines and legislation, so I can act as a mediator between them and national agencies, and things like that on a daily basis.
Okay, and we're participating in this, Congella, but it is a Europe-wide initiative involving more than 30 countries, and this year's programme, as I mentioned earlier on, focuses on heritage at risk. What exactly does that term mean, and why is it such an important issue?
Because we have so many sites to take care of, if you like, we need to be very vigilant around the conservation of these sites. Without proper care and attention, proper methodologies and funding for communities as well, and landowners who own this archaeology, sites can fall into risk. So we're highlighting this as an important issue, heritage at risk. Also, Heritage Week this year is focusing on heritage at risk. But we have a lot of very good news stories in Clare. Communities throughout the county, are focusing on their archaeology, are doing works on their archaeology. We can look at Kilrush, for instance. There's been a lot of emphasis on their buildings and bringing back their buildings to life. So we have many good examples around the county where people are minding their archaeology and using it as the resource that it is for visitors, for tourism, but also a sense of pride in the community.
Okay, so it's going to be happening, as I mentioned earlier on, Tori, across the weekend, kicking off from tomorrow and running until Sunday. Can you highlight for us some of the events and activities that are planned over the course of the weekend?
Yes, so on Friday morning in Clare Museum, we are running Archaeology in a Box, and the exhibitions across 2 floors are open there for people to visit. So Archaeology in a Box gives children, families and adults a peek into how an archaeologist might work on a daily basis. It's the physical excavation in miniature. Then we look at some typical objects that we might find. This can be a little bit challenging because, of course, they don't come out of the ground in recognisable form. So I love to watch the logic that's applied to figuring things out. Children really engage with the science of archaeology. They're really good at working in a way that an archaeologist would once I explained to them why we do it this way. Then we'll practice our sieving, which is great fun. It's messy and it's great fun. That's how we find the smallest of items on excavations, things you might not see when you're taking out shovel loads with your little trowel. We have magnifying glasses, which will help you to get up close to objects and look at maker's marks and little identifying features or decorative features. I find then that the kids really enjoy putting the boxes back together for the next group. They do really seem to like ensuring that the next person is going to get the same experience, and that's really helpful to me as well. It saves me a job. So then, as I mentioned, in the museum, there are 2 floors of exhibits of objects from prehistory to more modern times, which really showcases the archaeologically rich landscape of Clare and links, as Congella was saying, the monuments back to the objects. And this is great for me because I can really show and talk to people about the life cycle of an object from discovery and all the way to exhibition. Then on Saturday morning, we'll be doing the same thing in Scariff in the Edna O'Brien Library there. They have quite an impressive collection of archaeology-related books. There's a real interest there and a great local history section. So we'll be creating, hopefully, a wall of cave painting there. They have a great big display board, so that's what we'll be doing over the next couple of days in Clare.
Okay, plenty happening. And Congella, listening to Tori taking us through the more hands-on elements of it, sieving and all that, I can imagine, hands-on learning, it's an effective way of getting people into archaeology, but particularly young kids. Why is it important to encourage younger generations to take an interest in archaeology and heritage?
We have an amazing groups of archaeological historical societies around County Clare that are working really hard to promote and bring awareness around our archaeology, and they need new people, they need young people coming in working with them. That's really important. So absolutely, to get education on archaeology into the schools is very important, but also the joy that kids get from exploring these, as Tori explained there, it's very exciting and it's interesting and children learn a lot. But we need new people coming into archaeology for sure, and we have such a resource, as I said, it needs every help that it can get. So getting young people in is really important.
And I suppose as well that not just the hands-on learning aspect of it and for younger children, Tori, but describing to them the kind of artefacts that have been found in Clare, how long ago, what time period they come from, and how they paint a picture of the way people lived and what they liked and what they did. That must be fascinating for them to hear. I'd imagine older people who are just novice archaeologists as well.
Absolutely. There's a very strong interest in Clare. There are fantastic community groups working, and as Congella mentioned, these groups need new people coming in on board. And it's a way of ensuring community stewardship going into the future, ensuring that the resources and knowledge that is within communities, that this survives and it's protected and it's appreciated, and that there's an understanding there of why we need to protect it. And I'm a strong advocate for digitising and publishing it as well, making it available to researchers. It's a really great way of ensuring that this information is there for, creating amenities, community amenities using their heritage resources, and ensuring that we know a lot more about monuments when we encourage young people to use the resource in school projects, history projects, things like that.
Okay, for people, Congella, who want to find out more about the events taking place across Clare during European Archaeology Days, where can they do so? And is there anything that people need to sign up for or register for?
We have a really good resource, clareheritage.org, where there's a lot of archaeological information, and Tori is building on that all the time. So the information about European Heritage Days is up on that. But people are just welcome to come along to the County Museum on Friday, and then to Scariff Library on Saturday. So people are just welcome to come along. And I just also want to remind people, Heritage Week, now is the time to register for Heritage Week. Heritage Week takes place throughout Ireland and in County Clare every year in August, from the 15th to the 23rd of August. So the communities out there who have an interest in taking on events or have ideas for events, please register your event now, because we're starting to ask people to come on and to do what they do brilliantly every year, celebrate heritage right across the county. OK,
get in touch ASAP. Don't put it on the long finger, folks. My thanks to both of you for joining me on European Archaeology Days. Congella McGuire, the Clare Heritage Officer. Congella, thank you.
Thank you
very much for joining us this morning. And thanks also to the community archaeologist Tori McMorran. Tori, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much.